Hello, everybody. Andrew at Fixology, and we're starting off this video a little bit different than I normally do. I'm doing a voiceover, which I don't normally do, so I'm going to be uh, very amateur at it. But pretty much what's going on is we have a Game Boy SP, the first generation, so your little flipper Game Boy Advance, essentially. This one has bad shoulders on it, bad shoulder buttons. So what we're going to be doing today is going through and attempting to remove those and replace those. So what you saw in the first few seconds there is I am using my newer solder sucker. It's a soldering iron that has a sucker built into it, so it can pull the solder out while it's hot instead of having to work it around with a copper or using a sucker separately or something along those lines. And I haven't used it very often, so I'm a little rusty at it. You'll notice I keep going back and forth to it because I think that I'm doing it wrong, but in reality, I was doing it right. I was just being very I was being very impatient, and obviously this is a different recording. I am using my microscope, my electronic microscope, to record it, so that's why there's no audio that goes with it. I haven't yet gotten advanced enough where I can figure out an audio setup that uses anything separate from what comes from the camera itself. So that explains why everything's all quiet and I'm talking over it, because it doesn't have any audio. So um, what we're going to be doing is just talking about this, watching it through. I'm going through up and down with it. The it's just I haven't done it this style in a while, so I'm gonna be real rusty and real weird looking. So, but you'll notice that I finally got it out enough where I can then take a soldering iron and get it weak enough so I can pop the legs out, so that way I can remove it. These shoulder buttons, they do fail on the SPs and the advances quite a bit. Some they are. If you were to open them and take one off, you can technically remove it, like take it apart and clean the insides. But I've seen a couple of the videos and a couple like kind of bashed together kits online. It's really not worth it to break them all apart to clean them up. Just, I mean, I guess the only benefit being that they're original Nintendo parts. But outside of that, like, it's so much cheaper just to buy a set online, from Amazon, AliExpress, Mobile Centrics, you name it. I mean, they're pretty much the same for a couple dollars, and you just replace the thing with brand new ones instead. The amount of time and effort you'll spend cleaning them, taking them apart, putting them back together is I just don't think it's worth it. I'm sure there's some of you out there that can do it, or if you don't have the availability of getting those kind of parts, then that would make sense to you. You can split them down the middle and clean them out with some isopropylene or some contact cleaner, and then air dry them out, with some compressed air. Or if you got one of those like little electric air dusters, those work pretty well too. So that's just my take on that. You're noticing that I'm still struggling just a little bit with it. I just can't seem to get the heat, but I finally was able to pop out that one side. So once I got this done, then I figured out, oh, now I can finally do it all the way through. And that's pretty much what the story comes through. I don't have my normal toothbrush with me, so I grabbed a pipe cleaner that I had lying around. Hadn't been used by anything. Well, maybe to clean out like a PlayStation or something like that, but outside of that, nothing too crazy. So what I'm doing is I'm going on to the other side now, and now that I figure out how to use the solder sucker correctly, I'm going to pump it out the right way. So they make these solder suckers in a couple different ways. The one that I have is the basic version, where it is a solder iron with a hole in the middle so you can like wrap it around stuff. And then it's got a manual sucker in it, where the ones that you like push down with a plunger. So what you do is you put it on top, heat it like I'm doing right there, and then you push it down, and then you hit it, and it'll pop it up. So you notice there's no solder on it, virtually no solder on it anymore. And so if you watch it again, you'll hear it, and you'll see the movement, and a lot of the solder came out with it. The other ones they make for it are ones with like a vacuum built into it, so it makes like a really loud like whirring noise, like a vacuum, but just in a very small area. So those are more expensive, like 150 bucks. The one that I bought was like 50 or 40 bucks, so it wasn't anything horrible. what I'm doing there is seeing if there are any of them loose, and it looks like most of them are loose. I think I got one that's a little caught, so I'm going to take my small soldering iron, and I'm just going to heat it up so I can then scoot them over to the side, and I can pop it out from the bottom. This one went much smoother now that I, had a little bit of experience. I haven't replaced any shoulder, any of the shoulder pieces on Game Boys before. I've cleaned up Game Boys, and I've done like a couple smaller repairs. I've replaced screens on them. I was gonna say batteries, but the batteries are replaceable, so it doesn't really matter. Stuff like that. So had to get it back toward me. And you'll notice that those holes are nice and clean out, so I'm not going to have to do much when I put the new ones in. And what I'm doing, I'm just going around just cleaning them off real quick. Take off the extra gunk, or if I have any flux on it, which I don't think I used flux. I don't know if I would have needed it, honestly. Thinking about it now, maybe flux might not have been a bad idea, because then it would have made everything flow a lot smoother. But then I would have gotten flux all up in the inside of my heated solder sucker. So I don't know if it would have been worth it for that. But, it is what it is. So these shoulder pieces, they are bent a little bit, and they kind of act like a clip. So once you put them in place, they hold their place, which is super nice, because you don't want them to move at all. See how they're like kind of bent out to the side? Once you get those lined up in their holes, you just push them down, they'll pop in place, and then you can flip the board back over and solder them in place. Because the soldering in place is probably easier than the removal, at least in my opinion. So right here, I'm going to get it all lined up, which I think I'm probably miming explaining it so I can give myself enough time, but I don't know what past Andrew was doing. He's probably psychotic anyways. But what I did is I push it back in, I just push it back in place and line it up. And there they are. They're right through, nice and easy. Oh, refocus a little bit. The electronic microscope I have is good, but it's a manual one, so occasionally I have to refocus it. But it does have a lot bigger screen, and it records at a 1080 rate, as opposed to, I think my last one was 720 or something like that. So now all I'm going to do is just solder it back in place, get it a little warm, get it hot, set it in place, and melt. There we go. You'll notice I didn't use any flux. Not because I didn't want to, mostly because I don't know where the hell I put it. I know I moved into my house in May, so it's been a few months, but I am still missing shit. Which I'm sure anybody who's moved can attest, moved to a house can validate that seems to shit. Or if you just move in general, like, stuff goes missing. Like, you hope it's nothing big. Like, this obviously isn't a big thing. It's just flux. It's not that big of a deal. But I got a couple more boxes I do need to double check before I can say that they're gone. Otherwise, I'll just order it off Amazon or something like that. Just get like one of the higher grade ones. I don't know. But that's one side done. And then here comes to the second side. Again, just going nice and quick with my... This is my mini solder pen. So it's like I think it's called a Micro Dot Mini or something like that. I like it. It was a little pricey of a soldering iron, but it's a really good one. You could probably have done this with a regular soldering iron, just with a fine tip. But since it was small enough, I'm like, okay, I might as well use this one, and it took up less space than my actual soldering my actual soldering iron, which I honestly think I need to replace because mine's a dual. It comes with the heater and the iron, and I think the heater, the hot gun is not working properly anymore, which is unfortunate. So now what I'm going to be doing is just cleaning it up real quick, getting off all the stuff, no flux, but getting off all the extras, and I'm giving it a quick eyeball as it goes through, just to make sure nothing else I got damaged or I didn't melt anything else on the way out. So I'm looking at it right now, just double checking, and then we'll be going on to the reassembly of the Game Boy. I didn't do the disassembly because I explain in the next area why I didn't. It's just super easy. So, all right, so that's in with the micro solder run, and I will be on to putting it back together. So I'll see you right there. Give me 1 second. All right, and we are back. So hopefully I didn't butcher the editing too much on that voiceover of the micro soldering. Like I said on there, I did record the teardown and like testing of it, but it literally just amounted to me to, it looked like I was doing absolutely nothing, so it was kind of pointless for me to keep in. So tear down on these are really freaking easy. I mean, you'll see when I put it back together, but I mean, it's like 7 or 8 screws, and then that's it. So they do have a weird wing. They do have a weird tri-point though, which is a kind of a weird one, which is kind of a unique one. So you might have to dig around for one of those guys, but other than that, it's been pretty good. So we replaced the shoulder buttons on these guys. It just, they said you could open them up and clean the inside because the contacts can get worn out from just, use. Because, if you ever had a Game Boy SP Advanced, any ones with the shoulder buttons, like, you use them quite a bit in certain games. So, but if I'm just going to tear it apart to clean the insides, like, I'll just spend a couple bucks and just get brand new ones and hope that's the issue. So, all right. I know this has been a while in the making, and a person who's been working on it for understands it. They said there's no rush, but I always feel bad when it takes longer than when I'm supposed to. So, all right. So we need to put this guy back together now. So with this, you have to make sure this black piece is down all the way. And then we're going to slide the flex for the LCD up, if I can get my fingers underneath it. My fat, chubby fingers. There we go. There's a little bit of play, so you can pull it up a hair. But what you're gonna want to do is, and I hate this part the most, and I don't know how the hell I'm gonna look at this while I'm doing it, but you just gotta be careful. If anybody has a better technique for this, let me know. I'd be very interested. Because right now my technique probably looks something akin to a kindergartner. Okay, I got one end in. Probably shouldn't be grabbing the flex with these. I had some plastic ones maybe, but I don't want to pull this. Damn. Come on. Oh. Okay. Nope. Fuck. Okay. Do I have it? Nope. Oh, man. I did it before. Okay, let me try something here. Okay. I don't know. Keep it tight. Keep it right, keep it tight. Come on, Vanilla Ice, don't fail me now. Alright, so I think I got it in there. Just an awkward angle. It has some slack, but not a lock. Alright. Then once you drop it down, it'll only go into one position, falls through a couple holes here. And then you have 3 screws you need to put away into there, and those are just regular Phillips, so I'm just using a double PHOO. You could probably go away with a triple, but I think the OO fits better. And these 3 screws are the same exact thing, so if you mess up the order, no big deal. Boom, there we go. And then before you put it on, make sure that for your power and your volume, make sure these little plastic pieces are on. This one came on with here, so it should just slide right back on. It's got a little guide if it doesn't line up. And it should just click back into position. There we go. And these are the ones that are a little weirder of a tri-point. There's only 2 of them. They go on the top here and the bottom there. They are not magnetic, or my screwdriver is not magnetic. I am not sure which is which. So I'm going to put them in with this. Oops, wrong screwdriver. I don't know why I have this one. Wait, no, that is the right one. Oh yeah, one of them was a little bit stripped, so this one was a little bit stripped, so it's you have to put a little more pressure on to get it in the position. Not too much, just a little. This one is fine. Alright, and that's enough to hold it together for now. Crap. Some on the side here moved. I might just take this screw out. It's so messed up. Yeah, I'm just not gonna put this one back in. This one's super stripped out. Well, it's got 4 other ones to hold in the corner, so it's not going anywhere. But I gotta figure out why this back piece isn't fully going on, so. Yep, the button moved. So yeah, for these buttons, make sure this middle piece is lined up with the little black piece here. That's the actual scroller thing that moves up and down, so make sure that's on there perfectly, otherwise it won't move, otherwise it won't go back on. So now if I do it, there was a gap. Nope, shoulder button moved too. Make sure the shoulder sits in the right spot. One of them fell out. Supposed to be real simple, Andrew. In and out, Andrew. No. Don't you fucking move on me. What is that again? It's bent around something. That way. I hate small springs. So that's in there, that's in there. Okay, so now what the? What am I doing wrong here? Okay, this. Okay, so this needs to go under here. Got it. So that'll go here. I think that just goes under there. Nope. What am I doing wrong here? Oh, it hooks behind. Okay, now I remember. Okay, so this one, it hooks behind. There's a slot on the back of the gray piece. Right here, and that's where the curved, the 90 degree, or like the 45 or whatever goes on. So it goes like this. So it sits in there flat. Pin goes through the coil of the spring, eventually. Holy hell. Come on. Look, I like working with small electronics. This is not small electronics. This is small bullshittery. Okay. Alright. Okay. That's there. This is here. Okay. Put it all in here before it falls apart. Okay. Now, I just need to bring this there. Ugh! Alright, let's try again, and I'm going to do it from this way. Can't win. Okay, hopefully with the tension it's not going to fall out. There we go, no gap on the side. Alright. That is the non-strip one. And again, this thing I think isn't magnetized. Like, by the way, these ones are tries as well. Yeah, they're not. I don't know. They go in these 4 positions. Just gonna put 2 for now, just so I can test it. So this one seems to be working. This is a 1.5 try. So not the same as your iPhones. Definitely a lot different. Okay. And then I'm gonna pop out my game because I know the shoulder buttons work immediately. So throw our advanced wars in there. But first we're gonna put the battery. Make sure the screen comes on. Screen is on. Good. Let's put a game in there. Alright, volume works. Back button works. Okay. Alright, let's just... Sure, I don't remember what campaign I was doing around here. Hey, there we go. Shoulder buttons are good and working now. Woo! So in this game, the left, I think, left bumper picks up what characters you haven't used yet, and then right gives you, like, detailed information. Because A doesn't do that. Woo! Alright. So that did it. Fantastic. Alright, so he does have a second one that has the same exact problem. So I'm going to go with the same exact solution. I'm just going to replace those sons of bitches, and that should hopefully do it. So, for teardown, obviously just do this in reverse, but like I've shown, it's not hard. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 screws altogether. 6 of them are tri-points, 3 of them are Phillips, and then from there you get the board and all the other pieces with it. So that is great. Been having pretty bad success lately with some repairs, so I'm glad to see that this one went forward without a hitch. But sweet. So this one is good to go for my compatriots. I'm going to give it a quick clean too, just with some general purpose cleaner. Clean out the ports a little bit, maybe scrub down the pins on here. But other than that, that is a successful repair, and I'm happy. No, it took, I mean, this repair probably should have only taken like a day or less than that as soon as I got the parts. But in reality, it probably took a couple weeks because I've just been procrastinating like hell and busy and stuff like that. So, but thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. So we will see you in the next one. Later.